the Otaku International Podcast One Piece Chapter Review 1017. I'm Muninn, and today we have an amazing new chapter with a lot of things going on, jumping between fights. So, on that, our topics today are Tama's powers get activated and Tama's army advances. Sanji draws Queen's true strength, Zoro getting healed, Jinbei versus Who is Who, and at the end we have Gomu Gomu no Mi, more important than we thought. We have an open Q&A section at the end where we also talk about other anime. But for now, let's introduce our hosts today, which is Kiwi-chan,
Hello.
Pizzy-kun,
Hello.
and Manga After Dark.
What's up, y'all?
So before we start with One Piece, we have a Discord where we discuss all kinds of anime, manga, webtoons, and manhwa, and we have a great community from people. We have a great community with people from all around the world who discuss their favorite animes and also discover new anime through recommendation of other people. So if you want to talk about your favorites, come and join us and enjoy your stay in our Discord. So moving on to the first thing, which is the cover page of chapter 1017. It is a cover art request by Kamisonaru, a chimpanzee assembling Buggy's body like a puzzle. When I saw that, I was instantly laughing at the chimpanzee like putting stuff on Buggy. What are your thoughts about it?
Honestly, honestly it fits him because you know how his chop fruits it can break apart. So it's funny that he can change it to different parts and stuff. So I feel like that's hilarious to have. I didn't even thought about it until I saw this cover page and I thought, that's interesting. Maybe that's a foreshadow to tell that, he might have a new power. Don't know.
Oh wow.
Like you mean like Buggy assessing his body with different stuff?
Yeah.
I mean,
Easy way to cyborg.
it wouldn't be
Frankie's kind of
cyborg.
cyborg, but
Yes, but I said easy way because of his devil fruit.
I mean, he could hide like a little cannon, like he did in his foot, or like in his shoe a long time ago.
He will have this I'm gonna make a reference, but it's like those in My Hero Academia, Bakugo has those gauntlet instead. So he would have those gauntlets. Like, are you ready?
Well, I mean, it isn't actually surprising, because Buggy can do that, because all we know it's Buggy the Clown, So.
Oh my god.
Pizza, you might be right. I mean,
Hey, bro.
You
got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah, I love the rehabilitation Oda done with his character. I hated Buggy when he was first just not hate as in Akiyama hate, as in get him off the screen hate. Stop wasting time with this guy and move on. I love him now. I love Buggy,
bro.
I just love it.
Imagine Buggy is one of the only characters that become this close to killing Luffy, this close.
Wait, when
in Loketown?
In Loketown,
he
was very close, and he was
when his daddy saved him.
That wasn't his dad.
It was nature. Nature saved him.
Nature,
first.
Yeah. We all know it has something to do with Dragon.
No, because Dragon has wind.
I think he blew a storm over. I think that's what Dragon did.
I mean,
he used his wind powers to move a weather system to Loketown. That's how
maybe
that
you never know.
actually work.
I mean, I
Yeah.
really think it has something to do with like what Nami has. You know, like she has the
Yeah.
ability to control wind at a certain degree. Imagine like Dragon, like being at like a whole town scale. You know, being able to control weather like Nami. You know, but at a larger scale. That would make also sense. You know, because Nami learned it from the people in the sky. You know, like the sky,
Yeah.
little island.
Yeah.
Because Buggy was pointing a sword directly into the sky, and then a lightning bolt struck him. So I just rationalized it as Draken just moved the storm system over, and then Buggy being
And
Buggy.
metal conducts lightning, so you kind of like
And
you kind of see it coming
and
I
technically.
mean, I mean, it's a
Or
little bit
maybe
off
I'm gonna do
tracking.
a joke. I'm gonna do a joke. Maybe Anel was playing with his lightning and something happened, and got strike down. There you go, save.
It's a little bit tracking off. But has anybody of you played Sea of Thieves?
I've heard of it,
I
but
heard
never
about
played
it.
it.
Never played
Never,
it.
never have a weapon in your hand when you're sailing through a thunderstorm.
words to
Just
live by.
saying. Just
Uh,
saying.
Yeah.
So, moving on to our first actual topic, which is Tama's power activated. So
Mhm.
we have in the first, we're starting off the chapter with the Dominaria life floor, where
Mhm.
Queen is fighting right now, and we have Tama coming from the red light district to the life platform, and Queen sees her and asks what a child is doing in a war zone, what a
Mhm.
child is doing like in this fight, and then she gets like uh there was this toxic plant, and she gets bitten by it, and then Tama um like faints, and Nami and Usopp are also arriving at this
mm,
place.
I think it was the announcer girl. You know that girl with the what's it called?
you
Uh,
mean
Balhong.
Bao
Yeah,
Huan?
yeah,
yeah.
it was Huan. So from that we make a small jump through Wano, through Onigashima, to the castle interior fourth floor, where Jinbei is fighting right now, and he's facing off against who's who and multiple opponents. Then we have a short break, going to Frankie, who's also fighting and fighting and fighting multiple of the gifters. Shortcut to also Inuarashi, and getting back to Tama. And now is the interesting stuff happening, where Tama is activating her power to give the gifters orders to all the people who are who ate one of their dango. So,
Hmm.
what are your thoughts on this? Like, first few pages of the not even few. It's like 4 pages of the chapter.
Honestly, this chapter, like the first and second chapter about Queen asking what like Tama is like. It's like, who is this brat here, huh? What is this brat doing in this battle for? Even though he's like bad, he's kind of concerned for a kid, and that's strange for someone who's an enemy thing. So strange. Maybe he has a weakness against kids. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
Uh, I
um
mean, I think they more have morals than like actually have a soft spot. You know, that they don't touch children or women, unlike
yeah,
the Arlong. You know.
yeah.
Oh, the flamingo.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
But like like I said, with that, and then you get to a panel where you have the standoff between Jinbei and Who's, and he's like talking about how this that one of them are like lying, like the announcer was not being truthful about what's really happening, and there's so much loophole to this thing that they're not doing it. So I think that I like the interaction between that, and then you get to, I think, Itarashi and Jack. I'm trying to remember the dog's name. Itarashi and Jack, and Jack was like, "Hey, you wanna scrap it? Like, you wanna fight? Because I'm ready to fight." And he's like he's tired, but he's ready to go. And then you see, like Tama declaring, "Hey, you gotta tell Luffy and Momo is still alive. Anybody who been activated my dango with that, please get ready to fight." And I was like, that's something really powerful. So yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on in like the first few pages, from
Yes.
Queen to Jinbei, and then a little shot of
Mm-hmm.
um, Frankie, But I mean, the
Yeah.
one that we haven't seen the most is like Jinbei. I mean, for me, it feels like forever, like when he's been seen. And then
Well,
they, no,
and Black Maria.
that's
That's
also
also
true.
like way back.
Yeah, I mean, like when Jinbei is fighting, he said like, yeah, I never expected to be a one on one fight because it's like 30,000 against 5,000. Those numbers are still insane. So I'm still like curious how they're like gonna pull off, like the Otama and getting her dongos, or like the gifters who ate the dongo, getting ready to battle, which is also pretty sick moment.
Uh, I really, yeah, there's tons of going on. I really enjoyed how the Beast pirates are actual pirates, as in like they don't care if they're jumping people. Like there's so many honorable pirates in the One Piece world. It's great to see a pirate crew where it's like honor, don't really care for it. But except for children, they do have a thing about injuring children. Kaido didn't want to hurt Momo. He just when Momo refused to say he wasn't Odin's son, then Kaido had to try to kill him. But it's very interesting how Oda portrays them as characters and how interesting Queen is compared to the other All Stars. Queen is way more likable compared to Jack and King. So
I,
I really enjoyed all the characterization that Queen has been given this entire arc.
I mean, bro, Queen is an actual troll, man. Like he's having fun dancing, while Luffy was in prison. He's the goofball from the three.
Like, where
Yes.
is King? Like, he's been gone for the last couple of chapters.
Bro,
Yes.
it's
Well, we can talk about that in a further topic in this chapter, because I think we have a thing going on here where we may be seeking again, but that's so for me, this chapter, I know we have a lot of going on in this chapter, and it's starting off also really well, cutting short through all of the scenes, because we had for the last chapters we had a lot of continuous fighting, like continuous um um areas where we were in Onigashima, but now we have this little breakup where we have like cut through almost every fight, and see little bits and pieces of them fighting and them holding up against like this mass of people, because as Jinbei said, they went to Onigashima knowing it would be 5,000 against 30,000. And in the last chapter we had those it is what was it,
mhm,
7,000 against
35. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
no, 25. they were like the beast pirates reduced, and the samurai gained people was the
Yeah.
number in the last chapter. I don't
Mm.
remember the exact numbers, but I know that the beast pirates like reduced their numbers, and the samurai gained in fighting numbers. So that's interesting to see. And also, like, all of them are getting, they are getting tired, and then we have Tama activating her power and telling all the gifters to follow her orders. So they are gaining even more people. And that's like, it's crazy how fast the numbers change now, because in the first in the start of the fight, and also when we saw Tama getting all the dangos ready and giving them to the gifters, we didn't know the number at all. We didn't know who was fighting, like how the strengths are on each side, how many
Mm-mm.
people they have left. We only knew that they are fighting. And now in the last chapter, in this chapter, we get exact numbers. How many people are fighting on each side. So moving on from that, we have in the next one, we have a small cut to Luffy, to who is currently on Lost Ship, who is at on the polar tank, and like lost people trying to save him
Mm-hmm.
from and revive him from drowning or getting too much water. And
Mm-hmm.
then we cut to Momo, who said is crying and said they were so high up. I will have to say something on that later. Then we have Onigashima still floating in the air, and we have all the gifters who ate the dango yelling, "Let's take down Kaido." So now all the gifters that had a dango are changing sides, and they are moving. They are fighting, and we have Speed saying, "All right, we have our orders," and every gifter who ate a dango is changing their sides, switching sides, and fighting against their own former allies, which are the
Mm.
beast pirates. And it is like all of the other ones are wondering what is going on, and all the gifters are just saying, "Your wish is my command, master," to Tama. And then it goes that the beast pirates say, "Okay, then we have to teach them a lesson, what it means to be a beast pirate, and take all the gifters that ate the dango, take them down." We have a lot of going on, all of the fights. We see like all the mess that is going on the life stage. And also we get to know that not only the life stage is affected, but also the floors under the life stage. Like it goes through all floors. Not only the life stage is affected by it. And we have Queen trying to attack on that. We have Queen trying to attack Tama because she is the reason. He recognized that she is the reason why um, why all the gifters are changing sides. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, my thoughts about that is that we're finally seeing like really like I feel like the raid was a stalemate between the two factions, and I felt like it was a stalemate between the two. And with that, I feel like there's more progress since Thomas actually using her powers to actually overtaking this, and I feel like we have a chance to actually beating the beast pirate. But like I said, we're still at war, so we never know what things can pop out in this thing. So I kind of like the how things were kind of messy, but at the same time, it's kind of like transitioning it as what we go through all of the plays intact. But that's overall what I think about it.
I mean, it's still like really messy for my feeling because it's like shot after shot after shot of different fights, and it's hard to take track of like what's actually happening, what's important. You see snits and bits of the CP0 during the fight. I mean, why is no one talking about like um Momonosuke yelling Kinyamon, because he's so high. Come on, but it's heartbreaking, like what happened in the last chapter, like getting down by Kaido. I mean, it's so sad to see, but I mean, it's still a child.
It's heartbreaking.
It is. It
It
is
really
very.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like the execution of the Tama plot point because I know earlier on, like probably like last year, early on, people were bemoaning this plot point of Deus Ex Machina, Tama can control gifters with her random devil fruit power. But
Mhm.
people aren't upset about how it's done. Oda did a great job of turning what people thought was going to be a negative into a positive. I enjoyed how it's done in this chapter, even though it was telegraphed the moment we figured out what Tama could do. Um, but like it makes sense given the numbers that they were against. They needed a large group of people to join the fight. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for them to win. Because this is a Yonko crew. This is not some random pirate crew that could just, oh yeah, through willpower, we'll get it. No, this is a top tier pirate crew, and you need a numbers balance. So I
Mhm.
really thought they did a great job at making us be interested in seeing how the beast pirates are turning on each other, even with what Queen did earlier on in the arc with the frozen demon thing, that helped out the alliance so much because of that. Because people realize, oh, Queen's a crappy person. Why should we fight for them? And I also agree with the lack of seeing the fights is kind of disappointing because Oda wastes a lot of panel time with things where it's like, do you really need that in this arc? Can't you just give us more Frankie and Sasaki instead of showing us Tama faints for like 3 panels? But the anime's done a good job at filling in some of the gaps, so they're probably going to continue on with that. But I do agree. I wish we saw more of the fighting between the important Straw Hats and the important Beast Pirate members.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for me, like the thing where Momonosuke said they were so high up, I think what happened is, you know how his devil fruit is also activated when he is scared.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So he activated his devil fruit and he flew. Based against that, um, I think Oda didn't show it is okay. It's good. It's great because it saves a panel that we don't necessarily need to see, because from that sentence we get the point of him getting scared and like morphing into this dragon um form. But he is also like, he is mourning Kinemon and Kiku, and it's so heartbreaking. And we still see like Onigashima flying, and then all the messy fighting. it's it is messy, but it's also kind of like interesting because you see all of the characters again that you like almost forgot about those fights because they were not shown or not relevant enough in the former chapters to, I don't know, show them.
Mhm.
And also we have like the gifters helping out Inuarashi, who now can take on Jack one on one. We have all the gifters also helping out Frankie, so he can get to his like main fight. So I then we have also like cutting back to CP0, and we have Queen in the middle of this whole mess in this chaos. We have this huge panel where you see all the messy fighting, and also there is this speech bubble that explains this chapter exactly.
Mm-hmm.
When I read this speech bubble, I was like, yes, it is like, well, this panel where it's just told where all this messes and like Queen is in the middle of it. They say this is right brain tower. They're running wild. The basement had also been compromised. What the hell is happening? Onigashima has fallen in chaos. And for me, it also kind of describes this chapter. But also, like, when I think about it that way, with this speech bubble saying Onigashima has fallen into chaos, I think the chapter may also be this chaotic,
Mm-hmm.
with Oda portraying how chaotic also the fight is. Because this chapter is chaotic, we get the feeling more that it also the fight is chaotic, because we get moved around and we get this point and we see all those small sections of the fightings.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on from that, I said that Queen is attacking Tama, and then we have uh, our savior of the day again, Sanji. So Sanji is kicking Queen again, saving Tama, and then Queen recognizes Sanji as Judge Windsmoke's son, and Sanji is saying like, "You quit saying that name. I suppose you were the part of the insane research team," which is like, Queen is also a scientist who does like body research, and he's kind of mad, and he's also a cyborg. And now he's like, Queen gets all his cyborg weapons out. He's like morphing into this giant cyborg, like even his beard has a claw hand on it.
Oh, but I did not even notice that. What?
That's why I was
It's
looking
his
at it like,
it's his, that also explains how his neck in the previous chapters like expanded, like what reminded
Mm.
me of like Renji's sword in Bleach. We
the
have
mustache
Queen.
has power.
We have one arm that is normal, which is holding his sword. Then we
Yeah.
have the other arm that is like the cyborg hand arm. Then we have his beard, which is a cyborg, has a cyborg hand, and we have his tail, which has also a cyborg hand. So we have one technology versus another technology, which is Queen Cyborg versus the raid suit. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. What about you, Kiwi?
Honestly, this when it comes to Sanji and thing, when he said about Ving Smoke, I like think I want to see where like a fight between him wearing a race suit and him with Queen saying, "Yeah, I may hate that, detest that, but you know, with this raid suit, I can beat the crap out of what you know like stuff." And I want to see that fight. Honestly, please, anime. Like I really want to see that fight. I am really enjoying the fights and stuff. So I can't wait. And about how Queen's body, you know he reminds me of a lot about Frankie a lot. And honestly, I feel like Frankie should have fought Queen, but you know, they I want to see more tricks and stuff because thing. But you know, it's fun. Sanji finally has a raid suit, so I'm actually more better than this fight, and I can't like Queen's design. Actually, he reminds me of the advanced version. I know a lot of people kind of hating on Kid right now, but he reminds me a lot of Kid, but advanced version of it. So I'm just saying. but that's my outtake of it.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you, Pizza.
Okay. I mean, I think we are like both are missing something. Like after
Yeah.
Sanji's part, um, Queen said, "You mean mads," and then it's like
Mm.
a bit fattened up. Like big words. Like it stands out. That's ancient history. I mean, I guess there is more about mads. Like
Yeah.
more people that were involved in that body modification, maybe, because like Sanji's dad is like into those kind of things. Caesar was into it. Who was the smartest man again?
Vegapunk.
Doctor Vegapunk.
Vegapunk. And now Queen. Some things are like slowly adding up, like Oda style. He's dropping hints and snips there and there. Then like 100 pages later or whatever, he, he explains everything what happened. And everyone's like mind blown. That's always something to like hold in your back of your head.
Yeah, this is what Oda does best. His flashbacks are all legendary, and this is why I'm so hyped about this fight. This flashback that we're gonna see how Judge knows Vegapunk, how they know Caesar, and how Queen fits all the scientists we've
Mhm.
met. We're gonna figure out how they know each other and what happened. Because somehow, some way, Vegapunk went to the Marines. Caesar was
Mhm.
running away, then Big Mom found him. So why did Big Mom think Caesar knew how to make giants? Because
Yeah.
Vegapunk has some weird. Who knows what
Mhm.
Vegapunk knows? So all of these people are connected to Vegapunk tangentially. We're going to figure out how. And I think this flashback is going to fill in so many pieces of the puzzle where it's like, why were all these people working on human modification?
Yeah.
Did someone betray Vegapunk and that's how the Marines caught him? Did Vegapunk willingly join the Marines? Maybe he's a revolutionary secretly. Like who? Like there's tons of different ways we could go with this, and it's crazy. And Queen
Yeah.
pacifistified himself. Like it's awesome where it's like we saw what Vegapunk did to Kuma, and then Queen was like, maybe Queen did this a long time ago. Maybe he was working with Vegapunk on the project at one point. Maybe he was Vegapunk's assistant. Who the hell knows where Oda's gonna go with this? So I'm most excited to see how we're gonna get all these characters and their backstories, as well as seeing Sanji go out all out in a full fight. Like when was the last time you've seen full power Sanji fighting? Like I can't remember. Like it
Pre
legit.
time skip. Pre
Yeah, it
time
might,
skip.
and this
Pre
I
time
lobby
skip.
mean,
might be the legit last time we saw full out Sanji going for broke in a fight.
you have mostly seen in the word like little snips and bits as well, like against Doflamingo. He got knocked back within 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Virgo, like in
Virgo.
Punk
Yeah.
Hazard, he almost like broke his kneecap or whatever against him because he was so like from steel. So we haven't seen a lot from like an actual fight from Sanji in a long time.
And Oda's
Mhm.
going to upscale Sanji so much. Like all of the Straw Hats are getting upscaled drastically. Like Chopper was tossing Queen around a couple of chapters ago. If you had told me that before the chapter, I would have laughed at you and said, "Put the drugs down." But Chopper was legit tossing a Yonko commander, just body slamming him all over the place. So like Oda's gonna make Sanji look really good in this fight, and I can't wait because Sanji's fighting style is one of the best in the series. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look so good.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yes. I think it's going to be interesting to see like those two fight against each other, and on adding on to Kiwi's what Kiwi said with the raid suit. Yes, Sanji hates his family or his
Yeah.
father, but also you know that Sanji's dream was to be able to be invisible, which is the power. We know that since Thriller Bark, where he
Yeah.
said he was claiming that he wanted to have like the invisibility fruit, and he didn't get it because somebody else already had it. And so now he has this raid suit, which like makes this dream come true, and he is able to be invisible. So, and we also saw him already using the raid suit.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see them both fighting. It's amazing, and all. I also have to
Mhm.
add to Manga After Dark. Yes, I'm also looking for. I think we all look forward to see like to actually see Vegapunk for the first time. Because from now on we get so many hints on Vegapunk and his character, and so many characters related to him to some extent, but we don't even know who, like, how does the character look like.
I mean,
We don't.
knowing Oda, he would do some weird shit actually, like what he did with Raizo, with the samurais.
Yeah.
I, I mean, I was thinking about like it would be like a real badass, like straight up like badass samurai, and then you see a Raizo. It reminds you of who was the guy that saved Luffy from Impel Down again? Ivankov.
Blanc, a
Ivankov.
blanc,
Ivankov, like
blanc,
the big,
yeah.
like he had also like a
A
big
blanc.
head. Like it's such a weird art style in my opinion. It's like he
You know who I think that Vegapunk is?
who
He's a Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, if you think about it.
I could
He's
see
like,
that, like
he's
his lore
not.
is that he's smarter than people, and it'll take several hundred years for people to catch up to his intellect. So if he was like some type of machine, like if he turned himself into a cyborg, basically, maybe that explains why he's several hundred years
Yeah.
smarter than everyone because he's actually several hundred years old. That could be definitely a possibility.
Ooh.
No,
I,
I'm saying it's like he's like Frankenstein because he's like that mad scientist that kind of like fits to the point of making Frankenstein, that kind of thing. And I feel
I'm
like if you think about it, Kuma was his, his perfect, like his test subject. And then maybe Queen was his, his like guinea pig, and then he couldn't perfect it. Then you have Kuma, who is a perfect pacifista. So,
I
in a
mean, then
sense,
again, they said like Akuma's body was perfect, not like his shape was perfect, not like
yeah.
he was perfect for it. But then again, I don't think I mean, Frankenstein was a mad scientist, like the Frankenstein's monster.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I forgot his name again. Wow. What was the scientist's name again? Oh my god.
Vegapunk.
Yeah, Vegapunk. I mean, he sounds like a legit cool guy.
Yeah.
More in the sense of
Yes.
he like basically fired Caesar because of his inhumane action. I mean, people forget Vegapunk is indirectly the cause that Kuma was able to defend the Sunny for 2 years. People seem to
Mm-hmm.
forget that it was like Vegapunk's doing. I mean, he, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it.
So, moving on to the next panels, we have Zoro getting healed by Chopper, which is a hilarious scene because we have like those two mink doctors, like this nurse and the goat doctor, and we have the nurse holding uh, Chopper in like a very chibi form, like a baby form almost.
Mm,
Yeah, it's also named like Baby Gramps, and he is using this strong drug. They are using this strong drug that will heal them, but it has an after effect that they will feel the pain or get the pain back after the drugs wears off 10 times worse. Like,
Oh.
and Zoro is just stating it doesn't matter um, if I can't fight now. So he wants to have the drug to fight now. It doesn't matter what happens after that, which is like typical Zoro. We know that he is like that. He doesn't care if his body gets wrecked as long as he can fight and win the fight. So, Kiwi, what are
Mm.
your thoughts on first of all Mini Chopper and like Zoro being Zoro?
First of all, the mini chopper is adorable, and the moment this pops up, merchandise, One Piece
Oh
is gonna be
yes.
all over. You'll have this tiny little figurine of Chopper, baby Chopper. I could see the money, but it's fine. Um, for me, I feel like that drug is kind of like that like Ivanka did to Luffy when he was in Marineford, like he's like a steroid, like
Yes.
energy steroid. So I feel like this new drug they're discovering is a steroids, and it's something that is kind of like, are you sure you want to do this? It's kind of like thing, but I feel like they're developing a new thing, and this is gonna cause some side effects. And uh I feel like it's more of an anesthesia, because that's experience when you go into a operation. You feel the pain after that, like, that hurts. After that anesthesia, you don't feel anything. So I feel like it's kind of like an anesthesia kind of thing. But you know how Zoro is, the nothing happened scene. You think if he can survive that, you think he cannot survive this drug. I'm just saying. So
I mean, then again, we're talking about different pains, you know. Like back then, I mean, Luffy took some hits, you know, like he had like huge damage.
yeah,
Imagine how the pain factor would be, or like the pain balloon after this fight, like on Zoro himself, you know. After this, it would be like twice the size, you know.
yeah,
I mean, it's really like really a big moment as well for Zoro, you know. Like him coming back is gonna definitely change some tides, you know, like in the fight. But I mean, I really don't get why they made Chopper so small. He's like this, like a little rat, basically. He's not a raccoon anymore. He's a rat.
I,
but no, pizza. What do you think about like, I guess the drug that?
I mean, I think they like mentioned something in Zoe a
Mhm.
while back, like that they had something, but I can't really like remember it well. How the conversation went, you know.
Yeah,
Yes, they mentioned some. It is also referred because it's the goat doctor who's giving them the drug.
Mm-hmm.
So it is referring that is a mink medicine
I mean, a
yeah.
mink medicine with
or mink
Chopper's
drug.
ability,
Yes.
that would be like an a drug that would be paid millions for, you know.
But also, you see that in the chapter, you see that like the baby chopper is almost it is similar to Luffy when he first got the gear, when he like went to like chibi state. It was the side effect of his gear, and it says a side effect of the new Rumble Ball. So we get Baby Chopper every time he uses the Rumble Ball now.
And I didn't catch it at first until my second read through. He talks like an old man, and that's why they call it Baby Gramps. Like, if you look at
Yes.
his dialogue, he's speaking like he's like an elderly person.
yeah.
So that's I'm curious to see when he refines the recipe and what his other side effects will be. In general, I'm not a fan of like quick healing tropes in manga because I feel like it cheapens whatever damage the character goes through. Because it's like, oh, you're right back to fighting. And plus, Zoro's entire motif is I could take lots of damage to do cool attacks, where it's like in pre-time skip, the Mihawk scene led to the Arlong moment where Arlong ripped up when he was fighting Arlong, and Arlong's like, "Bro, how are you standing with that giant scar on your chest?" And then the nothing happens scene leads to a Saboti where Zoro brought out Ashura, where no one, well, Brook knew that Zoro was like close to death, but no one in the crew knew that Zoro was like really, really messed up. and that made that scene entirely cool because Zoro's like, yeah, let me pull out my ultimate attack, even though I'm about to pass out. And so like this scene is gonna be like the drug is gonna wear off and Zoro's gonna be like, on the ground. He's probably gonna be fighting King. Then he's gonna like either have a flashback to his training with Mihawk or something. His hockey's gonna bloom and have this awesome attack to beat King. So that's probably where Oda's gonna go with this, or he's gonna be useless in the next arc until the very end, and that's how they're gonna like distance Zoro from the action in the whatever the preceding arc's gonna be. Um, but like Zoro's one of my favorite Straw Hats, so whenever he's fighting, I don't care why, I don't care how you get him to the point, just get the fight started.
But
And
bro, it's insane, man. Once that guy fights, it's like his power is well deserved. You know, you wouldn't think about plot
Yeah.
armor or whatever.
Zoro takes a beating. He took a beating throughout the entire series, and he keeps on ticking. That's Zoro's enduring quality, where it's like he's the true tank of the crew. Like,
He tanked
I mean, as much
Kaido. He tanked Kaido.
and Big Mom. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like that scene still blew my mind to this day. Like, that's the strongest attack we've ever seen in One Piece, and he
Yeah.
and he blocked it for a second. That was mind blowing. So I think that Zoro will be the one to fight King, and he's gonna like cut King's
Yeah.
clothes off, and that's how we're gonna see what King looks like, and like, oh, backstory time. But I'm really excited to see what Zoro does after he gets up. I'm really excited for that.
Mhm.
Yes, I also have to say I also have to say that we need to be reminded what Law said to Sanji when he kicked Zoro to Sanji, literally. He said that probably every bone in his body is broken. So I don't even know how that would work. I don't know how Zoro still stands with like every bone in his body broken.
Pure madness.
Yeah, it's
Well, it's
pure
kind of like
madness.
Sanji, like with Luffy with Ivanka, you just shot energy shot like thing. Oh, I feel
Yeah,
better.
but
I
yeah,
mean, he didn't. I mean, he felt better, but it took like 10 years of his lifespan.
yes,
No,
that's
that's
the
for the
thing.
poison. That's the poison, though.
I mean,
But
it's
I'm talking
still
about
no. At
No,
Marineford, they literally said
the
this will take 10 years away from your lifespan
not only
if I do it.
yes,
then
not
it
only
took.
the
Wait, he
poison.
did take twice. Then
Yes, it was. I didn't remember if it was exactly 10 years, but I know that the poison took off its lifespan, and after that, the steroids that Ivankov gave Luffy on Marineford also took lifespan.
yeah, that's why.
And
Cause I was
Ivankov said
thinking.
it will take lifespan, and Luffy was yeah, get it, go.
No,
And
but I was thinking it was 10 years for the poison. That's why they were rebuilding and stuff. That's why I was thinking 10 years, and then after 10 years, and then I don't know if he didn't say, oh, you like he did at first, and then the last injection he said, well, I can't give you any more injection because if I give you injection, this is gonna cost your life. That's what I remember, but I don't know if he said a particularly
No,
number. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
but on that we can philosophize, but how we can like
Yeah,
theorize how long Luffy will live because Gear also takes off of his lifespan. So we
yeah,
have a lot of things that takes a lifespan from Luffy. So we can say Luffy will die young.
yes,
yeah,
So
like
probably it will. I think maybe it will be like a Roger situation, like Roger age, maybe. Like how old was Roger? I don't
50,
even remember.
50.
50? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No way Luffy is going to be that
50 or
old.
40. Yeah, something like
53. He was 53.
yeah, 53.
yeah.
So, moving on, we switch to the castle interior, fourth floor, um, where we get to the meat of this chapter. We
Ooh,
get to the interesting stuff. We get to Jinbei versus who is who, and um, who is who just says like curses the gifters and says to because Jinbei is going 1-1 to for him with him now because all the gifters are taken care of from the other gifters that switch side. He says, I don't get what's going on, but I guess I can't afford to go easy on you. So who is starting to get serious, and he attacks um Jinbei, and Jinbei like does his fishman karate and dodges dodges the attacks, and we have that then Jinbei starts talking about the world government,
Mm-hmm.
and it's we get a piece of information here that who's who a little bit of back information for who is who. There, when where Jinbei says, "I remember hearing a Rouge member of CP9, the Secret Intelligence Agency, breaking out of prison. The idea of an official being arrested struck me as odd." So the official, the world government imprisoned a CP9 member to impel down.
Mm.
And who is who recognizes that he doesn't fight it. He just says, I can't believe you know such an old story. So it is true that a CP9 member got out of prison. And also confirms it. Well, it's true, back then we never made direct contact. It was who is who broke out, and I'm pretty happy with who is who. Then says, I'm pretty happy with how things turned out, but I used to have a Ruth dude a mistake I made 12 years ago. And then a name drop happens where they say, I used to be considered a bright prospect, a rival to the genius Rob Lucci. And then they start fighting again.
Mm-hmm.
I will cut off because and ended this topic on this page, because on the next page we have the last page, but I want to talk about that separately. So let's talk first about who's who and Jinbei's fight and the connection from who's who to ZP9.
Um, I actually, I really like this, honestly, about, we get to know about more about the CP9 because we thought that the CP9 is that's it for Ennis Lobby, but we get to see more about it and get to know more details. And apparently, he is a match with Rob Lucci, so he must be really talented if he can go to be like toe to toe with Rob Lucci. And being a member of CP9, he maybe Jinbei, before Jinbei was defected, he like, oh, I saw you once, but thing, but they never really clashed into thing because they're kind of hidden organization at that point. So I feel like he knows Jinbei a very long time, but never just really got into it though. So
I mean, it's really like he says I was a rival with the GD's Roblucci. I mean, that was 12 years ago. Roblucci is now 30, so it was like around when he was 18, and that was I think like when he massacred some people with his finger. There was a little backstory about him, like sitting on top of a pile of humans. In 12 years, a lot can change. I don't think he's like actually on the same level as Rob Lucci, because
mm-hmm.
Lucci is just he's just
He gets
insane.
stronger. He's gonna get stronger.
I mean, he's at CP0, so you would expect him to be a lot stronger after Eni's lobby.
Yeah.
So it's and then yeah. So I don't. I mean, I'm kind of like curious how he got out of prison. It's up like with Luffy because that was like 2 years ago, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of questions are building up after this chapter. Definitely.
Yeah, like I the only negative about this is the continual destruction of the lore of Impel Down. So many people have broken out of the alleged prison that no one breaks out of. Like
Yeah.
from
I have
from
to
characters
correct
like
that. It said prison, not impel down directly. It said prison.
Yeah.
oh
So
that's fair,
No.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
Uh,
fair. So we don't know if it was impel down.
Yeah.
thank you for that clarification. So that yes, all right. So now I don't have a negative about this part. When I was reading it, I was confused by the blade pistol part. Like how we could see that how Rob Lucci has all his different machinations for the six path techniques. Like Who's
Mm-hmm.
Who does the same thing. He has his fang pistols, blade pistols. He has his own unique fighting style. Um, so I'm really curious to see if I hope we get a flashback and see how this entire situation goes down. But yeah, I agree. He's definitely weaker than Rob Lucci because Rob Lucci is on the Luffy growth curve. Like one of Luffy's hallmark moments in the post time skip will be definitively beating Rob Lucci in the fight instead of like I won kind of. So we're gonna
Yeah.
see them clash again, and Luffy's gonna like I'm gonna beat you and walk out the fight. I'm not gonna like have be carried by my crew. I'm gonna beat you and
Mhm.
just walk away. So that's gonna be a hype moment. But I can't wait to see how Who's fight because his design is awesome. I love the look, especially with the when he color in everything because he has like pink hair. He looks really dope. His fighting style is gonna be dope, and we're gonna see a Jinbei fight, like a legit full on Jinbei fight. We're gonna see Jinbei's best attacks. We're gonna
Yeah.
see how good he is with hockey. So I'm looking forward to this entire situation. I really like this part of the chapter.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Luffy, when you said Luffy versus Rob Lucci, do you think that Lucci would be kind of like a final boss to Luffy
I
then?
feel like yeah. My headcanon is that Sabo takes Akainu, and then as Luffy's going, Lucci's gonna say, "Hey, bro, we got a rematch. We got to run it back one more time before
Yeah.
Luffy gets to like whoever the final fighter he is for the villain." Rob Lucci is gonna be his tune-up. Maybe he's gonna clash with Kobe once at some point in the final arc, like they
Yeah.
did in Marine Ford. And Kobe's not going to get actually not. He's going to like be able to not get knocked out by Luffy, and that's going to show how strong Kobe is. But I think Luffy and Lucci is going to be towards the end of the series. We're going to get a final fight. Luffy's going to walk out the fight clearly the stronger person.
Okay.
So um I also like I also said already said that the fight is going to be interesting and also to see the flashback. I also hope we get a flashback on Who's Who and his connection to CP9 and Rob Lucci. I also think that he's not as strong as Rob Lucci because Lucci, well, it also says that he was a bright prospect and a rival to Rob Lucci, but it that does not state that he is in fact or back then was directly toe to toe with Rob Lucci. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think he's not as strong as
Yeah.
Lucci. So moving on to the last page, we
Oh.
have a awesome cliffhanger. We have the reveal of Who is Who, that the Gomu Gomu no Mi was stolen. Uh, and that on that point, Jinbei says that he was also surprised where he found the devil fruit that was stolen from the world government back then. And this devil fruit seems to be more important to the world government than we thought, which is the Gomu Gomu no Mi, which was found with Luffy. Now, on that, we have a lot of questions that this is getting up, because it's getting up the question, what the heck is so important that the world government deems the Gomu Gomu no Mi as very important?
Mm-hmm. And
And we have um we have also the question, did Shanks stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi himself, or how did he obtain the Gomu Gomu no Mi? And on that, if he stole it, why did he stole it?
mm-hmm.
And like all those questions, what happened back then, and what role the Gomu Gomu ni plays in the One Piece world, and what is the power? I cannot imagine a power that is making the Gomu Gomu ni superior to some other devil fruits. Like all of the time, like in the community, the people are talking about like the strongest devil fruits, and now we get this.
Yeah.
So Kiwi, I know you're one to talk. So your
I've
thoughts.
been I've been wanting to say. So when this drops, when I read the Japanese versions, and I was like, when this drops, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? And then it was back in my head. I was thinking, could it be that the real reason why Luffy could hear the voice of all things is the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Maybe. So
So you wait,
No, definitely not.
no,
Then
wait.
because if that's the case, then that fruit must be really special to hear those kind of things for a devil fruit. That puts that in perspective of like because for me, yes, it's a rubber fruit, but I feel like the Gomu Gomu no fruit, it has a something that the government think, because just like with lost fruit, like they really want lost fruit. They were fighting with that, and now you find out that this Gomu Gomu no Mi is kind of like the same as lost fruit, so it has something sanctified as to relate it to maybe voice of centuries, or maybe something very powerful. We don't know that maybe Luffy hasn't even used his full potential. That means that this Gomu Gomu no Mi has a full potential where Luffy can use some full potential. We don't know about that. But to who's the one who stole it, I feel like Shanks stole it. I think that he
definitely. I mean,
is
he's the one that came into the bar with the fruit ball, Luffy. Like,
okay. So
look at
there's
But
a
why did he
okay.
stole it though?
There, okay,
Why?
so there's a book, the Vivier card. Apparently, Lucky Roo, I think the thing.
yeah,
Apparently, he wanted that, that fruit. He wants to be the one who's eating it, but it landed on Luffy. It was says in the Vivier card book that it was supposed to be belong to Lucky Roo, but Lucky Roo didn't get the chance because Luffy
Luffy had
ate
it.
it before he did. So in your sense is that connects it that Shanks really did steal it, and why? The question is, why did he stole that fruit through a government? If like he already popping out with government and stuff. So is he a double agent? We don't really know what role Shank is playing, and this is adding more to that little sauce that what Shanks really is. Like, it's honestly thing. And I maybe this is also a I want to add is that maybe this is the one that Vegapunk, this might be more artificial, that maybe this is the fruit that Vegapunk tried to remake on his own, that he perfected it, and that's why the government is guarding it, and he didn't want anybody else having it.
Hmm.
So that's my point of view of this.
Right, right, right. I mean, as if I hear Shanks, I don't see him as a pirate nor a marine. I think he's more in the middle because like
Yeah.
he had ties with Whitebeard back when he was still alive. He took on Kaido for him not to come to Marineford. He stopped Marineford himself. You know, like he actually said like if Kobe didn't step in, um then there will be like a total different outcome. So I
Mm-hmm.
think um, Shanks has someone with the ability to look into the future because like there's an ability to send someone in the future. Why not have the ability to look in the future as well? Because like why did he come to Loketown when there was a million other islands to go to? Why did he like take a certain liking into Luffy when he was a kid? You know, and why would he leave a fruit open on the bar next to Luffy while knowing a child is curious? You know, like I mean, if you give
Mm-hmm.
if you put a Coca-Cola bottle next to you and a kid is and you're not paying attention and the kid walks by, he just takes it. Like he's curious on
Yeah.
what it tastes like. So I think there is an actual reason why he is doing all of this. You know,
I
like
reread chapter. Oh, sorry.
then I go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, no, no. I'm done, man. I'm done.
Oh, I reread chapter one. So they left the devil fruit in a chest on their ship, and Luffy went on the ship and like took it. So
Oh.
Lucky Roo said we took this from an enemy ship. So like the red pier pirates definitely attacked the ship to get the fruit. We can assume it was the ship it was the marine ship of who that was guarding it or other CP9
Mm-hmm.
agents or whatever.
But
So the question so like the issue is I don't like prophecies in manga. I'm not a fan of it. It ruined Naruto and I don't want it to happen to One Piece.
Yeah.
So like it makes it like Law's fruit can grant immortality. What the hell can the Gum Gum no Mi do
wait,
on the levels of granting immortality? Like that's where I'm like, if people are saying this might be Joy Boy's fruit, and that's why they
mm,
have a straw hat in like a cell because like
Yeah.
Joy Boy when they execute him was like, yo, someone's going to inherit my will and then defeat the entire world government. The world government was like, haha, we'll take your fruit and your hat, so therefore no prophecy. And then
what?
Roger had a straw hat he gave to Shanks, and then somehow Shanks knew the fruit was there. Whether or
Mm-hmm.
not he has connections to the world government, some people think he's a celestial dragon. Some people think that he was a former like when Roger found Shanks.
Mm-hmm.
People think that Shanks was at God Valley somehow as an infant, and then Roger took
Mm-hmm.
him on the crew.
I mean,
Um,
wasn't Marie-Joie technically at God's Valley? Like they used to be there. I
no
think
one knows
some.
for sure.
I feel like
Mm,
God's Valley is the one that Kaido's in right now.
Kaido.
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
Onigashima.
Organashima, yeah.
oh, no,
Oh,
that was like completely busted down because of the fight between
yes.
Roger and Zebek. That island wasn't like
But
it like
He
also,
said it was
But we
lost to
really
it's
don't.
sink.
history.
could it
Yeah, but he
also
was
be
close to
Reverse
death though.
Mountain?
Hmm?
It would make sense that it was Reverse Mountain, which
So,
would play into the role of like the whole thing with all blue.
I
Like
mean,
Reverse Mountain is not naturally there,
true.
probably. Going on of like theories.
Yeah. I,
it,
So
I mean, like, we
so
all know NL has like an important part, you know, like with his devil fruit. Luffy is the only one that counters it. So maybe like they have something in like they have a combination about something like the ship
Wait.
has a cannon.
also,
Luffy is the director because he's like rubber, so
also
rubber
go,
like flows through it.
also going back to what Manga After Dark said earlier with the fight of Luffy and Rob Lucci not being ended
Mm-hmm.
completely, remember which fight was also not ended completely because they flee to the moon.
Oh, we're
That
seeing
that
another
Eneru,
again, most
Eneru's
definitely.
Eneru.
fight never, never was completed because Eneru just flew to the moon, and he also said he's going to come back.
Yeah.
Also,
And
I
And the,
kind of want to add something to, like, remember how you said pizza, where you said that about with Anel and stuff. I think that Oda is foreshadowing that, like, a member of D is also, like, because Law said that the enemies of God, and you can tell that the celestial dragons are God, and technically Eneru, he's calling himself God. So what if, like, that, like, okay, so you have the devil fruit and then you have an enemy. Do you think that the reason why the world government is thinking that this is because this devil fruit is the reason that will get, like, be defeated? Basically, it's the key to defeating them, basically.
I mean, the way that the flying ship
Mm-hmm.
is generated is because of Enel's devil fruit, because of the
Yeah.
electricity. So it would be like it would be like understandable because the world government would want to use that ship, but they can't because they don't have NL because he has a devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, NL just has a god complex. By luck, the fruit was there. He ate it. He saw how
Yeah.
much power it has. He thought like, oh, I am chosen by God Himself, so now I am God. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, how insane is it that he can literally hear by the vibration of your voice what everyone is talking about? That's insane.
yes.
Like
he
him, he can't. He's. I mean, he's not faster than light, but I mean, there you can still see because, like light and lightning, lightning is going faster than light, so you can still see going with that speed. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
that's also insane. Like, um, what was no, not Kizaru, but the other admiral? What was his name again?
Akainu,
No,
Akainu?
no, 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 the one with the
Aokiji?
no. Wait, what?
Fujitora.
Nah, I'm confusing myself, man. Let's
Which
go
one?
on. I'm
Which devil fruit?
confusing myself. Just go
Okay.
on.
So
So my
okay,
last,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so
Sure.
so my last point about the Gomu Gomu no Mi. So I think that whatever Shanks had in mind for the fruit, once he saw that Luffy ate the fruit, that changed his entire trajectory of whatever his plans were. Because after
Mm-hmm.
Luffy ate the fruit, that's when he gave him the straw hat and let the Sea King bite his arm off, saving Luffy while Luffy was drowning. So the fruit has some importance to Shanks on some deep level where it's like, oh crap, whatever, whether it be a prophecy or it belonged to someone. Once Luffy ate it, Shanks was like, all right, the course of history has now been decided. I will bet all on this kid because he has the fruit that's allegedly special. So whatever his goals was, here, Luffy, here's this straw hat that my previous mentor gave to me. And now whenever I see Rayleigh, I'm gonna say, hey, there's a kid that reminds me of Roger. I gave him the straw hat because I think he's the future. When he met Whitebeard, what did he tell Whitebeard? Yeah, this Luffy kid's gonna be the future. So like, there's something. I don't like prophecies. I'm not a fan of them, but I hope it's not like this fruit is going to be given to the chosen one, and Shanks somehow knows this. So therefore, Luffy became the chosen one in Shanks's mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Mm,
only rationale I have for how this makes sense.
so I want to add to that, adding to what
Mm-hmm.
Kiwi said earlier, on also what you said with
Mm-hmm.
people saying that that might be Joy Boy's devil fruit, that Joy Boy had this devil fruit, and what I think what is interesting on what you said, that
Yeah.
Luffy only because Luffy is the thing that is different between Momonosuke, who hears and can talk to the voice of all things
And
to
command them
Luffy
and command
and
them.
command them to
Mm-hmm.
Luffy is that Luffy is not only able to hear the voice of all things, he cannot interact with it, he cannot command it. And we also have this thing where the power of the previous Devil Fruit owner is inherited to the next generation, to the next Devil Fruit user. So maybe if it would be Joy Boy's Devil Fruit, then Luffy might be able to hear the voice of all things through his Devil Fruit, maybe.
Yeah.
So that would be a thought that maybe led to some theories. I'm not really convinced that it is Joy Boy's Devil Fruit though.
I don't think
It's
so, but
just
I
like
think it's more like
thinking.
Vegapunk made it. I feel
And
like Vegapunk made it though.
on the Shanks thing, I
Yeah.
think the Devil Fruit may also be kind of connected to Roger. Roger didn't have a Devil Fruit.
Yeah.
He didn't have
True.
a Devil Fruit, so it's not. But also, um, it is not really a prophecy that we got here
Mm-hmm.
because we yes, Shanks knows about the Poneglyphs. He traveled with Roger. He knows the story of the Devil Fruit because he was in the crew while Roger discovered all the secrets of like um the
Except for the
World
Poneglyphs
One
that
Government.
are
Piece.
straight
Except for
around
the
the
One
world.
Piece. He doesn't know what the One Piece is.
No, he doesn't know what the One Piece is. He doesn't know
No,
what
because he
One Piece is,
wasn't
and
there.
he doesn't know the whole story of
Oh,
the
okay.
Void
Yeah.
of Century, but he knows like the bits and pieces that they discovered on their journey because we
Mm-hmm.
know that Roger, we get it for the first time on
Mm-hmm.
Skypiea, where we have the sign of where Roger signed a poneglyph to state that he was here.
Yeah.
So I think we can all like that's a new theory material that we got there with the last page. But
Yes.
ending this chapter for now, let's rate the chapter 1 out of 10. Kiwi, you go first.
Uh, I would have to give it 7 out of. Well, the reason I have to give it 7 out of 10 was because it was all over the place. It got really confusing where it's began, and it was overall, it was a good, but it's just way too confusing sometimes. So, but at the end, the shocking reveal. That's why I have to give it 7 because it was the reason why this chapter was really really good was because of the ending that it solidifies that what okay, there's something more to the Luffy's devil fruit or could be something. So I feel like this is something that give us a clue or a flashback, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, I think I was debating between a 7 and a 8,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'll go for 7.5, just right in between. Like just like Kiwi said, it's like everything was like all over the place. Like it's a bit hard to follow sometimes. Like first you have like a chapter fighting, and all of a sudden it goes to somewhere else, and there's different fights in it. Then it goes back to like Luffy being smacked down by Kaido for like 2 or 3 weeks. You know,
Yeah.
it's a bit, it is a bit confusing at my end. You know, my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So I'll give it a 7.5.
I gave it a solid 8. I thought it was a pretty good chapter. They advanced. They ended the plot point of the numbers differences, and then they moved the plot of the overarching story further because we're going to get information about Sanji's past. Well, Sanji's judge's past. We're going to get information about the Devil Fruit, the past of Luffy's Devil Fruit, and how it connects to the future of the story. So I felt like this chapter progressed the story further than a lot of the previous chapters,
That
actually.
is true.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm also kind of struggling between a 7 or a 7.5 to an 8. Um But I think I have also to give it, I give it 8. Because on the first read, yes, it was all over the place. It was a little bit confusing. We were jumping around places in the chapter a lot. But also, as I said earlier, like the sentence where Oda also describes the situation on Onigashima that resembles the structure of this chapter makes sense to me. So I think Oda did this chaos in this chapter on purpose to give the reader a more of the feeling that what is going on
Mm,
Onigashima, that like everything is chaotic, so the reader has gets the feeling more that how strong the chaos is on
Mm-hmm.
Onigashima, and with all the fighting and with the reveal and at the end and all this like this information that gets us so many possibilities for further theories on One Piece is amazing. I love like reading theories, making up theories, thinking about them,
This is one
and
chapter that makes us go crazy
yes,
about it.
it is another chapter that is going to make all the headcanons crazy. Um, so before we are theorizing what is going to happen in the next chapter, I want to inject a quick um, sentence. So we are going after we tell what we think is going to happen in the next chapter. We are opening up the Q&A. So please prepare your question. Write your questions in the chat. We are going to read them. We are going to answer them. So let's get started with what is going to happen in the next chapter, Kiwi.
What's gonna happen to the next chapter? I feel like it's gonna be panel back to Yamato versus Kaido for me, and I feel like we will know more about it. And please, 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 I want to know about the backstory between Kaido and Yamato. Everybody's been bugging about that, and I wanted to know what like why Yamato was so against his basically his father about this, and what truly is what Kaido mean about okay why he really truly want to die, because there's something about him that he kind of like felt like he wants someone to die, and he felt like he's jealous of Whitebeard and Roger get have this amazing fights about it. So I feel like that is the case. And also, I think that we're also going to see a fight between Black Maria and Frankie. And then you never know, maybe Black Maria will pull up a bombshell or something, just like a Who's Who's or freaking Sasuke too. You never know. They might be some kind of thing that we never know. So I think because we already have with Queen connection with Judge and Vegapunk, and then Who's is connected to CP9. So if we go to that trail, who's Black Maria connected to, or Sasuke? So I feel like that's gonna be the next chapter.
I mean, there's a lot of going on. Like everyone knows,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of shit going on in the chapter. So, I really think we might see more about the what's happening to Momonosuke.
Mm.
I think that's like I mean, he has a lot going on, and I think it's like mostly about Zoro as well, or they'll continue about this, or maybe even about Robin. Like we saw a little fight, and like that's it. It's
Yeah.
you were breaking my balls, Oda. Come on, man. Just don't give small bits about it. You know.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start out as well with Yamato versus Kaya. We're gonna see how their family dynamic goes, and I guess we're gonna get a hint of a flashback. Then we're gonna pan out and maybe see Sasaki's hybrid form. I think we're gonna
Ooh.
start seeing the
Mm.
Toby Roppo all go in their hybrid forms because the fights are getting serious because they're one-on-one fights. We might even see Jack's hybrid form as well. And then I think we're gonna end the chapter setting up Zoro versus King, and then Marco versus Pero Sparrow. I think that's how we're gonna end that chapter, with Zoro being all right. I'm finally healed up, and then King is gonna descend from the sky or something, trying to kill Chopper because he like, oh, this that reindeer thing is actually kind of useful. He's the
Yeah.
doctor of the entire operation, so I can see Zoro having to protect Chopper from King, and then Marco swoops in to intercept Parasparrow, and then that's how we end the chapter.
So I think we have a lot of possibilities here because we still have I still want to see switch back to Robin a little bit, but we
Yeah.
also have like to go back to the fight with Yamato and Kaido. Um
Mhm.
I don't think that we will be back on Momonosuke that early on. I think that is like this chapter was a good um place to maybe write Momonosuke out for a few chapters, maybe two, and he gets back after that, like when Luffy comes back or something like that. So
Mhm.
I don't think that we are going to see Momonosuke in the next chapter, or not see him that much. Um, we have
Mhm.
Zoro getting being healthy again, getting on his feet, being able to fight. Um, and still has think that we need a explanation on Yamato's backstory with Kaido. Um, but I actually think that we stick to like some of the fights. We don't get the backstory yet. I think we if we get it, we will get it later. So I think
Mhm.
we either get like Zoro's fight starting, we get maybe see Robin, hopefully see Robin. Um Maybe we see a little bit of Sanji's fight. Even though we saw a little bit of it now. But I like him using the red suit. Um yeah, so I think we get little bits of fights and maybe a small panel like the Polar Tang bringing back Luffy for um the next round with Kaido.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, let's start the Q&A section.
Mhm.
We have the first question, which is from Ragav Shaman. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right. Um, he asked, "What are the chances of Who's Who versus Rob Lucci?" I will
Yusu.
say we go quick on that
Yeah.
because I think we discussed it in the chapter. So, quick recap: Who's going to win? Who's Who? Lucci, Kiwi,
Lucci. Lucci of obviously.
Pizza,
Melucci.
Manga After Dark.
Lucci easily wins.
Easy
Definitely
W.
Lucci, yes, definitely. I
Yes.
also think it's Lucci. Um, he's going to win. Yeah. So the next question is from Edgar Luvian. Um, I have to quickly find it.
Do you want me to read it?
I cannot find it in the chat right now to pull it up. He
Yeah.
said, "Do you think Luffy's fruit is related to the prophecy about the Void Century?" So, what are your thoughts? Do you think it is related to the Void Century?
I think it would be like an original, like the only thing I could see would be related, and I don't think it's gonna be like Joy Voice fruit, is that I feel like the reason it's special is because of the I feel like you know how origin of devil fruits are. I feel like the devil fruits could be the origin, like the first generation. So we don't know, like maybe like instead of a prophecy, we could have like multiple generations. Like we have, okay, we have like which generation does this develop, because um just like with Vegapunk, he studied the devil fruit. So to me, I feel like the origins of devil fruits, I feel like it got developed over the time of how things are, even are fruit. So to me, it's like I feel like could be made, or somebody made it in the voice century, or was it like actual, like original, it's an original, and that's why they're guarding it protectively. I don't know, that's just my what I see. So
I mean, it's really hard to tell.
mm-hmm,
I mean, it might be just about. Um, I mean, I really I can't really come up with something. It's I mean, you have Joybill, but I mean, you saw the really giant straw hat, so people automatically would assume it's about Luffy or
mm-hmm,
so it's really difficult to like actually give something about it.
mm-hmm.
So manga after Dark, take it away from me, man. You got this.
So, underlying theme of One Piece is inheriting will, and then not
Yeah.
necessarily people you're related to, but people that are like minded to yourself.
Yes.
So, whether or not the fruit itself is special, or it's the meaning behind the person that has the fruit, like there's no special properties to the fruit, it's just that like, for instance, like Sabo and Ace, how it's like Sabo inherited Ace's will because he took the Mera no Mi. He took the mantle of Fire Fist Ace. So, like, I
Yeah.
don't think the fruit belonged to anyone of recent time, because someone would have said something by now. I even
Yeah.
see people say, "Oh, what if it's Zebek's fruit?" If this was Rox's devil fruit, Whitebeard would have said something. Kaido would have said something. Big Mom would have said something. They didn't say
True.
anything when they saw Luffy use his rubber powers. So I think it is related to a prophecy. I think that's also ties into why the straw hat is so special. Why do so many people care about a straw hat?
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
like it's, but again, I generally don't like prophecies in manga, but
But
I give Oda the benefit of the doubt.
mm-hmm.
But I definitely think the fruit is related to a prophecy of some kind.
I mean, it would be like fate, isn't it? Like it's destined to happen. And
Yeah.
if you talk about fate, you know, people know that fate is bound to happen.
Yeah.
And which anime gives that amazing feeling about that? Like it's fate is happening. They're like if it's destined, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think Manga After Dark knows what I'm talking about.
Oh my god. I
You take
have
it away, bro. Say it. Say it.
I mean, Araki is a goat for that reason.
True.
Um, but like again, like Oda does a great job at writing One Piece. It's just that recent manga history does not have a good representation of this event is preordained and how they execute the preordained, how this event gets executed.
Hmm.
I'd much rather they leave prophecies out because it cheapens the character's journey. If it's like, oh, the person that eats the gum gum fruit's destined to be great, and it's like that kind of cheapens the entire journey. Like,
Hmm.
eh.
So I don't. Well, as you said, I'm also a little bit like against prophecy
mm-hmm.
because I don't know. For me, prophecy also kind of it kind of seems like a plot armor. To be
Yeah.
honest,
I
in
mean,
most
if
cases.
it's not wrote well, it's gonna sound like plot armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but we also know that Oda has this ability to write something that is like in other stories it would be considered plot armor, but Oda writes it in a way that it doesn't feel like plot armor at all. So we know that Oda has this talent to write the story that way that it doesn't feel like plot armor or that it's not necessary, um, or I don't know, but all like also, as you said, the whole like One Piece is not necessarily about like blood family, but your chosen family, like
Mm-hmm.
people that you choose to be your family and that you bond with, and also like the inherited will, which is not blood, also not blood related at all. It is like people that are thinking like you, that carry on that wish that you had. And
Yeah.
so I don't necessarily think that it is really bound to a prophecy, but there
Mm-hmm.
was something in the past maybe that made this devil fruit, with all the inherited like powers that a devil fruit gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it gave it a power that is hidden, that Luffy didn't unlock yet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, that um, is very important and plays a big role, or a
Mm-hmm.
bigger role that we think about. Yeah, now.
I have a question to ask if that's okay.
Yes, go
All
on.
right, so this is actually kind of related to the Duffer fruits, but it's also I want to talk about the Wheel of D, and I kind of want to bring out I forgot who said this, but this is something that I kind of wanted to hear you guys' opinion. So apparently, you know Joy Boy, the Wheel of D, right? So do you
Hmm.
think instead of the Wheel of D, in like those like people who has the Will of D, do you think those people who has different last names like Porcus D's and you know those things, do you think um they were part of Joy Boy's crew at the at Void Century at that time, and that's why it was called the Will of D, because they inherit uh the Will of D.
That's an interesting thought. That's
Yeah,
really an interesting thought,
because
especially if you.
they're clans of the D's, and then they have different last names. So if and could it be those people who, you know, generations like the Monkey D's and Porky D's or those kind of things? Do you think they were part of Joy Boy's thing, and maybe they were the reason like why the Wheel of D existed?
That's kind of interesting, because when you say it's like that, Joyba
Mm-hmm.
and the World Century is
Mm-hmm.
800 years ago.
Yeah,
And if you think how but then you also have to think like how many people inherited this name, and how well spread it might be.
like you know the Soul D, you know, like
Yeah.
Robin's, you know, that one too, also
Hmm.
that
Yes,
one.
yes.
And yeah, so I was
Because
feeling that people who has the D on their name at that point were like, I think generation, since it's kind of inheritance, it's kind of get into that theme of One Piece, inheritance of the D. For the main crew could be
I mean,
the crew.
then again, you have two in my like
And
own
then we
like
have a
head canon.
trader. We have a trader.
I think there's
So
like two different kind of D's though. Like you have
that's what I
Luffy's
mean.
D,
Hmm.
and then you have like Blackbeard and Zebek's D's form. You know,
Yeah. So
like two like two halves make one whole. You know.
That's why I was saying
yeah.
it's like it's maybe the D back then was the trader D that
Mm.
made Joy Boy fail, because she remember he wrote an apology letter to the Mermaid Princess and he didn't fulfill the thing. Maybe one of his crew, or you know, like one of the D, like what he, you know, his crewmates betrayed him in order for him to, and that's why he's apologizing, rolling that apology letter. It makes
wait,
sense.
you
Yeah,
said
I
that
can.
the D is the traitor?
No, no, no.
One of the
What?
D.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah.
That would
So,
also kind of make sense with Blackbeard.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. So like going Kiwi, to your point where it's like
Yeah.
my headcanon is that Big Mom got the idea of Tataland from something else. Like it wasn't like there's
Yeah.
something where it's like because like how you point how there's these that are giants, there are
Yeah.
these that are from all across the world. What if that was like what if it was a country where it's like everyone lived together from all these different creeds, ethnicities, so on and so forth, and then whoever the celestial dragons are or were, they like defeated that country or nation and caused them to all scatter about because they got persecuted, and then yeah, there's some type of evil D faction, and they're like, all right, we're gonna like betray our country for money,
Yeah.
power, whatever.
Yeah.
With them. So
Mhm.
like yeah, I think there might be a chance where like if this was like a group of people that all believe in a similar mission and they just had to get scattered out after they got defeated.
Mhm. Okay.
So, uh, I also think the way with like
Mhm.
the trader, it makes sense with
Mhm.
Blackbeard with his like whole like he is the bad D
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
and
like, if you think about it, Muninn, like, why was he apologizing to the mermaid princess? What is happening that he didn't do? Something might have happened. So that's why I was thinking. It fits.
Mm.
yeah.
That the D betrayed.
So I think we can move on to we have a next question from Ike Senpai. He asked, we once spoke about what would be your favorite devil fruit was, but what if you could choose two devil fruits? What would be your combination without them conflicting each other? I have to think about that because that's a tough question.
I
That's
don't like.
definitely a tough question.
So
Mm.
I have my go-to answers whenever I get asked this question is the paw pack fruit and Vanelle's fruit. I feel like that gives you really good versatility, offense and defense.
Um,
Um, that's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, on that, I don't know which devil fruit combination would be like this OP devil fruit.
I
I
We
mean,
have a
I'm
lot
not
of
gonna lie to you, but I kind of want Buggy's devil fruit. I told you that. I still want Buggy's devil fruit, the chop
what?
chop fruit. The chop chop fruit, you can't be sliced. And then if it's a combination, I will add, like, I could say Luffy's devil fruit, so I don't get blunt hit that easily, and I can do massive techniques. So that's my combination. I would say Luffy's devil fruit and Buggy's. That's my intake.
I mean, there are so many great devil fruits out there. So I have to say that even though Law is my favorite character, I wouldn't choose the Opa Opa no Mi because the major drawback will be I have to study medicine.
Yeah.
No way I'm going to study medicine. So
So
Yeah.
going off of so my choices were the paw pad fruit and then Anel's fruit. Uh,
oh,
I feel like that gives you the great versatility of offense and defense. But going to moving your last point, one of the most interesting thing about devil fruits is that they're tailor made to the person that they like. I know obviously Oda's writing a story, but like it's
yes,
like Law is the only person, not the only person, but he makes the best use of the fruit because he's an actual doctor from a family of doctors, or how Big Mom's kids have food devil fruits or things revolving around cooking. So is Big Mom specifically searching for these fruits, or is it like through some mystical coincidence that all of her kids get these cooking devil fruits? I always wanted Oda to like dive into where these people got these fruits, because it's it's really interesting how all of this sorts itself out, how it matches the person almost perfectly. Kizaru's personality with his fruit makes it a contradiction.
Mm-hmm.
Akainu's hot-headed, he has a magma fruit. Like, so I really enjoyed how Oda made sure the characters were matching of their devil fruits.
Like Boa with her skull stone heart,
I,
but
Mhm.
I would.
but at the same time she is in love because of the Luffy.
I mean, I would pick Enel's devil fruit and Sugar's devil fruit.
I see I see an interesting combination in the chat right now, which is Kizaru's devil fruit and Absalom's devil fruit, which is
Oh,
lightning speed while being invisible.
I mean, I don't want to be a dick about it, but if you're technically speaking, if you're invisible, there's no way that light penetrates your eyes. So technically, you are blind. And if you're moving at the speed of light, you can't see as well. So you're like giving you a double handicap. That's
So
what, and you can
I
only
ne-
go straight.
I never include real world physics into like One Piece discussions, because like when Kizaru told Hawkins, "I'm going to kick you at the speed of light," that was clearly not his kick moving at the speed of light.
True. I mean, it would be like
Yeah.
it would be in a fucking like a bomb exploding and
A
then every.
meteor. If someone of Hawking's mass, like Hawkins is a giant person, his mass moving at the speed of light will cause a
Yeah.
ginormous crater as if a meteor hit the planet.
Okay. Let me put it this way then. I mean, you can see that Kizaru can't go. That light can only go straight. I mean, he doesn't make any bows. It needs to reflect to catch something. So you need to calculate it. So you need to be a
Mhm.
decent smart guy, you know.
And plus, too many people dodge Kizaru attacks for them to also be light speed. Like, unless not everyone, but like top tiers at One Piece, it's possible they have light speed perception. That's possible. That's a possibility of a thing. But Kizaru is definitely not moving anywhere near the speed of light. Not even
Nah.
close.
Yeah, but I think NL's Devil Fruit and Sugar's Devil Fruit is a pretty good combination, you know. I mean,
Yes.
I can basically be touched, and I can change everyone in my technical slave, you know, because they are doing my bidding.
Damn.
So like, I liked when Oda explained that you need sufficient hockey for these moves to work. I was always get upset, like, why is Sugar just not touch Doflamingo and like, huh, I'm the captain now? Or like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so like Sugar couldn't be like the strongest person in the verse because her devil fruit is absurdly broken. But like, if your
True.
hockey's not good enough, your devil fruit ability will not work. So I like how Oda finally made that statement when Law like, I can't really do anything to Big Mom and Kaido because the differences are hockey levels. So I finally appreciate that explanation, because there's so many like Crocodile just touch like Akainu and end the fight. Like, I don't get it. Like,
And
why
also Perona.
Okay,
Perona's
I
broken.
have a devil fruit I actually might like, which is Bonnie's devil fruit.
And
Who?
what's the second?
I'm just thinking.
But I want to include here what you said, anime After Dark. So I'm saying that with Perona's fruit, it's also like, yeah, sugar's OP, but I feel like having the negative fruit will reduce your way of your fighting spirit. So you're lower than your fighting spirit,
I
like very
mean,
except if you have Usopp mentality, then
I mean,
yeah, you can overcome that. But seriously,
we're in 2021, Kiwi, so everyone is sad these days. So Perona's Delphi wouldn't work on everyone.
And I would counter that if you gave Sugar's devil fruit to like someone of Roger's caliber, no one's beating him. He is
Yeah.
literally unbeatable in a fight. No one has hockey that's stronger than, or his hockey is at the highest tier. So maybe
I mean,
Whitebeard is immune to this ability, and only Whitebeard or Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom could like somehow not get affected, but everyone else
but
will get
how?
You
transformed.
know what?
But how would Mihawk do it though? Like if Mihawk had that devil fruit, I mean, he is a one man's army. If he goes one on one on someone, I mean, his Hawk he went toe to toe to Shanks, you know, but he quit because he lost his arm. So I mean,
Mhm.
the what people like forget. I mean, all right, the four emperors are hella strong, but I mean, the reason why they are also hella strong is because they have an army behind them.
You know
Yeah.
what? I chose my
An
second devil fruit.
influence.
I
True.
want
What
to
is
my
it?
my second devil fruit would be Alvida's fruit.
The slide fruit.
Yes, because it deflects every attack.
And your skin becomes hella smooth for some reason, and you can gain any
But
weight
wait.
because
Then I have to say I changed Bonnie's fruit for Alvida's fruit because
but
they're
Okay.
Okay.
kind of similar to each other with like
I mean
wounds
one
and
is
skin and
one is very
beautiful.
slippery, and the other one is you can't age. But
Did
what's the
Oda
other one
ever?
then?
Yeah.
So you
You
picked one.
manipulate. You can manipulate.
I mean,
I'm struggling. I have a few in mind, but I'm definitely struggling.
pick one woman.
Okay, I have to say I go with Dofi's fruit
Ooh, okay,
That's a good
that's
one.
sick.
because this fruit is very versatile. It is hella strong. um, you can. I don't want to control people. That's I don't want to, but like
Mhm.
the whole string thing is it's good.
Mhm.
So um
I'm actually scared of like I thought that Black Maria has this like the spider web kind of thing, like kind of devil fruit, like kind of Doflamingo. So I thought, oh no, we're having another Doflamingo. Yes.
so has anybody a question left that they want to ask, or does
No.
anybody wants to add something to the
I want to
today's
add something.
stream?
I want to add something.
Yes, go for it.
As my co-hosts know, and some of the viewers know, once I see a fresh pair of people joining our Discord, I like to ask them a couple of questions,
Oh no.
and
I know what you're going
I
with.
want people to like join, also like for having fun, you know. But I mean, the biggest reason is I have a role, very special role. If you like JoJo, if you like the certified Joe Bro role in our Discord, come to me. I'll talk with you. I'll have fun with you. We'll talk about JoJo, and you will be our 10th Joe Bro. You'll be the 10th person. My friend Manga After Dark is also part of it. He is part of the Joe Bro community. Join me and join Manga After Dark as well. You know, big ups to this man. Thank you for joining.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing series. Like I don't understand the hate it gets. It's great. It's great.
True.
It's
At
not
least
that we
you liked
hate
it.
it's not that we hate it. It's just it's hard to get into it if you, it's not what you're it's not one of your
I have to try again to get into JoJo's.
yeah.
I have to say
But
I have
I'm
to try to get into it.
Look, I mean, I
So
get it. Part 1 and 2 is a bit hard, but
Mhm.
after it becomes really good.
Yeah.
I
You,
got to
I mean,
part
from
5,
what
so
I've
I'm good.
watched, my favorite character was JoJo.
no, we,
Was it JoJo? No,
no,
who was it?
do you mean Dio?
Yes, Dio. Sorry, I'm so bad with names. The my favorite character from what I've seen from part 1 was Dio.
Dio, yeah.
He's a phenomenal villain.
Yes,
Yeah.
True.
he was
But
so good.
I have a question, or
Okay.
maybe or like something to add. How
Sure.
do you think Big Mom versus Kid in Law is going to end, or when are we going to get back to that?
I hope we
Oh,
get to back to that soon because I want to see that fight. Or that we get it in the anime. Because if we get an extended fight of those two against Big Mom in the anime, I'm so going to watch it.
yes.
Well, as you know, Law is my favorite character, so I have to watch it.
Yeah, but for honestly, like I don't mind the off-screening part, and it's just sometimes I kind of want to like flesh out more, like for the fight. But I feel like I people are hating on Kid so much about how his devil fruit works, but I feel like you could use a lot of things about his devil fruit. Honestly, like I hope that he could like made a new weapon, like something that could like you could say make something that would negate both Prometheus, Harris, and um their powers. And you can combine that to lost power, and that's a those combination attack between the two of them are always amazing,
Yeah.
and I
I
love them.
also, I also like the dynamics between Kid and Law.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally don't think Big Mom goes down this arc. I still think she's gonna be around for one more arc. She's also probably my favorite Yonko, actually. So
Oh,
I don't mind her existing past Wano. Um,
Wait,
yeah, I
wait,
know Big
bro.
Mom
Wait,
gets a lot of hate. Big
No,
wait,
Mom gets a
wait.
lot
Come on, come on, come on. But I couldn't
I,
hear you.
Big
Did you
Mom
say
is my favorite Yonko. I'll say
what?
it out, chest out,
but
posture high.
on what you just said, now I have a thought that maybe Big Mom sticks around for the next arc, which would probably be like
F bow.
a giant island,
Mhm.
Elbaf, and maybe she goes down there while
Yeah,
she like gets to know what really happened.
yeah. Like it
Like,
doesn't make. Sorry.
yeah, she realizes what happens back then, how she lost everyone, and it would
Yeah,
be so tragic.
I know. Like it doesn't make sense for her to fall in Wano without her crew being there. And like going back to your point, Kiwi, about like people
Mm-hmm.
dunking on Kid, I'm upset Oda didn't give Kid advanced conquerors, whatever like they want to call this, because like he
Yeah.
literally had no plan to harm Kaido in the fight. He like Luffy went in with like, I've learned this new technique, I'm gonna execute it. Kid was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna keep hitting him until he stops getting up. And I was like, that's literally your plan? Like, just keep hitting him? And I was like, Kid, like Oda, like stop this. Like
Keep
give
in
Kid.
mind that
Yeah, and Law
that
was like Law was useful moving everybody around.
keep in mind you have two different fighting styles. You have Luffy who, you know, like reads opponents a thing and then takes advantage on it and stuff. Kid is just blunt, like, oh, I'm fighting you until you're down. And then you have Law who is very versatile to what he did, and he basically a support character, but you know, I don't want to call him a support character. He
He is a
still is
support
OP.
character.
But
In
he's
this
still
fight, he
OP as
was.
an yeah, he was.
He moved
But
everybody around and was passive.
yeah.
Oda really needs to make Law and Kid more powerful because the gap between them and Luffy looks big. Like I used
Mm-hmm.
to think, oh, they're all equal. I can't say that in good faith anymore. Like
That's
Luffy is
true.
True.
Yes.
leagues better than them. Like Oda needs to give Law and Kid something.
Just to
Like,
put one in a thing, I have to feel like Zoro is overpassing those two too.
I can't argue with that.
I think I don't think that he Zoro has overpassed them, but he's on his way. He's
Yeah.
on his way there.
I
Uh,
mean, Zoro defeated Kid's second hand, with ease.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he kind of
yeah,
did.
he kind of did.
I
And
mean,
Yeah.
seeing Purgatory like that, man. Oh my god.
And
And
also he hurt Kaido again with the Enma sword. So I do have one last question. This is actually like everybody in the community was actually talking about this. Do you think that Enma's sword was a power up for Zoro, because everybody was
I
thinking,
mean,
oh, that Shishui, he should have kept Shishui, not Enma.
I mean,
But mm-hmm,
it's a yes and a no. I mean, they both power each other up. I mean,
yeah,
Enma couldn't be. I mean, if Zoro had a weaker will, Enma would have eaten him up.
yeah,
That's why his arm shriveled up and he has like a hard control over.
mm-hmm,
It's like with this with the cursed sword. You can choose to cut someone if your willpower is strong enough.
mm-hmm,
Zoro said, "Oh wait, oh shit, I don't have enough willpower to control him yet." So he will definitely get there, but it's a combination of both, in my opinion.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like, it's definitely a power up, but it's a power up that Zoro has to train to use. Like, Enma allows him to use all of his power in like a giant screw all attack, but that'll leave
Mm-hmm.
him trained. Like, when he masters Enma, then he'll have mastered his hockey control, which will make him
yeah,
a stronger fighter. So it's a power up, but he has to train to use. It's not like I draw Enma, now I'm stronger. It's I draw Enma
True.
and I have to train with it, and then once I train with it and master it, now I'm on a completely different level. Like when
yeah,
Sanji masters the raid suit, he'll be on a completely different level than what he is now. Because like, yeah, you could just like say like, oh, what if Usopp puts on the raid suit? Can he do turn invisible and fly? Sure, but it would clearly not be as effective if Sanji's wearing it. So like, they still have to train with these things to be more used to fighting with them.
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like it's. I also say it's a yes and no because it's kind of a power up, but it's also kind of a setback
why?
because Shinsui was a black sword.
Oh,
Mhm.
true, 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 true.
Now Zoro doesn't have a black sword anymore, and I say it's a setback in that way that he has to learn to control Enma because Enma has a stronger will than every other cursed sword that Zoro ever touched.
Mm-hmm,
So he has to control that, and to master swordsmanship, he has to at least be able to turn one sword black. So his goal now is to it is like this setup for Zoro
mm-hmm,
mastering Enma as it is. So he is like he can wield Enma without like thinking about it, without having to like um put Enma down or push Enma down to prevent Enma taking Zoro over.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when he reached that goal, it is the next step for him learning to or achieving to create the black sword.
mm-hmm. That's a good idea, honestly.
True.
Yeah. Because like a lot of people were just like consumed like nah, and then this one also. Do you agree that like we wanted to do the like how in time skip was when we want Zor to go all out, right? Do you think this is the moment that he actually went all out, or do you think that he should have went all out on more in the Dressrosa area?
I mean, Zoro knows his limit
Yeah.
and knows who's up against. I mean, he's definitely used against
Mhm.
Pika like a decent amount of like force to cut him down, you know.
Yeah.
But knowing Zoro, he has some crazy shit past years, you know.
Yeah.
But Kaido is still on a different level. If he didn't use his full strength to cut him, there wouldn't be a scratch on him, to be honest. So he definitely used like all of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, when he did the Asheron Kaido, I think that was 1,000. That's Zoro giving everything he got in a singular attack, and it wounded a guy that allegedly couldn't be wounded. So like, yeah, I think we saw that, but like, it's hard to scale because of how powerful Kaido is, like how impressive that is. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when he fights whoever he's going to fight for his final fight in Wano, we're going to see a like holy crap, that the move he used, that Kaido dodge, Dragon Blaze. I think
Yeah.
that's going to be his ending move on whoever he fights in Wano. And we're gonna say, holy crap, that's what it look. That's what that move does if it connects. So I could see that we're gonna see the flying Dragon Blaze with Enma, and then King is just gonna get like ripped to shreds, and then we're gonna be like, Zoro's a beast.
Yeah.
I also agree that got all out. He gone all out, and I
Mm-hmm.
think on that note, we can wrap up the stream
Mm-hmm.
and say that today we had a good discussion on One Piece. We had discussed a lot of things. We um added a lot of theory stuff that is going to through the community with all the information we got in this chapter and in the last chapters. So as this ends, we have please everyone watch our other podcasts. We have Black Clover on Mondays. We have general anime conversations on Wednesdays where we talk about all different kinds of anime, manga, manhwa, and webtoons. And as today, we have One Piece on Fridays, except break weeks, which is like clearly there's no chapter to discuss.
True.
um, Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more of our content, please consider following on our social medias, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below. One big thank you from all of us of the Otaku International team. Goodbye.
Bye
Take
bye.
care, everyone, and
Bye.
stay safe.
Stay
True. Stay
safe.
safe.